Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hey, welcome to the Viewmasters episode 277, Malignant. My name is Eric.
My name is Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Hello, Eric. How are you?
I am okay. I've got one quick question before we get into anything for you.
Okay.
This movie takes place in Seattle.
Yes.
You are Seattle adjacent.
Yes, I am.
Is there an abandoned Arkham Asylum off the coast?
Not that I've seen.
Okay.
But, so there is, I think technically the parts of Seattle that I have been in most frequently are East Seattle. Mm-hmm. There is a whole West Seattle that, you have to take a really long bridge to get to. And it's like a peninsula. One side of it is the Sound, and I think the other side of it is maybe the Pacific Ocean. I have not been over there, so who knows if there is an abandoned asylum? It's probably in West Seattle.
Okay. Now a follow-up question: are you afraid
Yes.
to go over the bridge?
I've been over the bridge a few times.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we there's a beach over there that we've gone to tide pool on a few occasions. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm afraid of it.
Okay.
Just it's kind of out of the way, so we don't go over there very often.
I know that when I was a teenager, my family and I used to vacation up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Okay.
And occasionally we would head to Mackinac Island.
Oh yeah.
And there is a very long bridge, very high up bridge, that if you look closely, you can see through it.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't care for that at all.
Nope. Yep. It is stressful. Even just being a passenger, I did not care for that bridge. There are certain bridges I kind of have panic attacks about.
Yeah, I get that.
The one in from Cincinnati to Kentucky, I do not care for that.
Yeah, that's probably about as long as the one to how long the West Seattle Bridge is.
Okay, it's not terribly long.
So it's not terribly long. I've been on longer for sure.
There's like a 0.00001% chance that I'm ever going to go to like San Francisco. But I would probably be terrified of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we went to Oregon a couple weeks ago, there's a bridge over, I forget, there's a river that separates Washington from Oregon, and there's a crazy long bridge, like a mile long bridge, possibly longer than that. I don't know. It was very long, but yeah, it was probably the longest bridge I've ever been on. I didn't get scared though. At least I don't think I did.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oregon is the state of bridges, correct?
Oh, is it? I've never heard that, but I very well could be.
Isn't Portland called Bridgetown sometimes? Or maybe I'm making shit up.
Stumptown, I know. I don't know about Bridgetown.
I'm gonna just. We're done.
Good
night, everybody.
Are you thinking about Bridgerton, the Netflix show that you love?
Is
that what you're thinking of? Is that set in Portland?
Yes, it is.
That's crazy.
Victorian Portland.
I would read that comic, Victorian era Portland. Or at least, just check it out. I'd be curious about it.
Sure, yeah. I'd look on one of those Russian sites that, you're not supposed to look at.
Right.
Yeah. What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Malignant.
So, to the listener, we're going to spoil the fuck out of this.
Oh, yeah. I don't feel like there's no way to talk about it without just completely spoiling it.
Not even remotely. So beware, because we are going to talk about this batshit fucking crazy movie.
Yeah, pretty much. This is really a movie that is out there in the world for people to watch.
Yes, it is. So when you picked it last week, I did say that I had seen it before. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you probably got the impression that I didn't care for it.
Yeah, or that you were mixed on it for sure. Is probably what I took from it. Like you weren't sure what to make of it, maybe.
A little column A, a little column B.
Okay.
I will say, knowing what was going to happen in the movie definitely helped me, at least on my second viewing.
Okay.
Like just kind of like in a Sixth Sense kind of way. Like once you know the twist, like then you're looking for stuff. And
sure.
It's there from the beginning. Like I will give it credit. Like it. I don't want to say it follows its logic because there is very little logic in this movie.
No, yeah, the logic is not part of the equation when it comes to this movie. But I mean, logic in the loosest sense.
Yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, like everything is set up from the beginning and pays off. Question mark. So I actually did enjoy it a little bit more this time around.
Good, nice.
It is still fucking insane that this thing exists.
It's ludicrous. Like, yeah, I so usually I will watch the movie, like the day before or the day that we record. Mm-hmm. This one, I told Jenny, like, oh, I picked Malignant for our next movie, and it's the Halloween season.
Sure.
So we decided to watch that one together.
All right.
We watched that the day after we recorded our last episode. So I have had almost a full week to noodle noodle over this movie, and it's really something. It's like I feel like there is a way to sort of analyze it that's like, oh yeah, it's a metaphor for, because it's about a woman who has cancer essentially, and like that. I mean, that's how it's described anyway.
Yeah,
and I feel like there's a way to analyze it as, and maybe I'm just viewing this from the lens of someone whose partner is going through this,
right.
But like how it sort of takes over your life and you feel like a passenger and it's just this awful thing. Mm-hmm. But also, what the fuck?
So
like that's all well and good, but what?
So I had not thought about it in that manner, and that is pretty eye-opening to me. To even give this movie that much depth.
It is more depth than the movie gives itself, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah, I do feel like your analysis of it there is pretty apt, and shockingly so, and definitely is attributing something to this movie that just is not there.
Right. I think so. So I feel like I've mentioned before that having with Jenny having cancer, we have become a lot more aware of how often it's used as like a plot device.
Yes.
In TV and movies, and sort of like there's a little bit of an eye roll and a groan every time it's even mentioned.
Sure.
And it's like the first scene of this movie, they're talking about cutting out the cancer.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, here we go. So, but the way that it is represented is fucking insane.
So
it's incredible.
The first time I watched this movie, I spent at least the first half, if not longer, like I think even saying out loud at times to no one but the cat, where the fuck is this going?
Right?
Like, I could not figure it out. And then when it gets revealed, at that point, I had actually even forgotten about the prologue. and then it went from, where the fuck is this going, to just plain, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Yeah, like how is this ever going to resolve itself in a satisfying way?
Right? And then this time around, like I said, I did find a little more appreciation for it this time. But also, it really stuck out to me, just certain things were, like, would people catch this?
Yeah.
So the opening. So there's a prologue that takes place in the 90s, and then we get the weird, almost set up like a poltergeist type situation, and then we get the doctor, saying the badass line of "We're gonna cut out the cancer,"
right?
And then cuts to
cue
like
the chainsaw.
Right? Yeah. And then it cuts to like a domestic, situation, where, by the end of it, this woman winds up hospitalized for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And during that time, no one at the hospital notices?
Yeah, you would think, like, she hit her head.
Right.
You would think that there would have been some sort of, like, a thorough examination.
Sure.
Or
CAT scan,
well, I guess she...
MRI,
yeah. Oh, man, what would that CAT scan look like? Like, imagine being the technician, like, looking at that and being like, what is that? Is that a face? What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh, I hadn't even thought about that, but that's amazing.
Yeah. So like, I'm gonna... I did write up like a mini review on Letterboxd when I first saw this.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull that up real quick, hopefully. And so I will give the movie this. It's got a good premise. Like
it's
the
got
overall,
a premise.
It's, I think, for a horror movie, it's a really interesting take.
Yeah.
But, I mean, So as a comic book fan, as a guy who likes horror and stuff like that, I definitely have a very wide berth when it comes to my suspension of disbelief.
Sure.
Same. Yeah, there is a lot that we can take without, questioning, the logic of things. This movie doesn't even try to meet you halfway. It wants you to accept a lot.
Yeah.
With little to no explanation. And I think that's what I found most troublesome. But this time around, I once I knew just how insane this movie was going to get, I think I was actually able to just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just for, for just how insane it is, I guess.
Right. I think, there are parts in the movie where, I think you typically expect, a horror movie or something like this is more or less going to be grounded in reality. Mm-hmm. Maybe with, one crazy element thrown in that is the horrific part. But then there's scenes where they're saying crazy things before we even know what's going on. They're saying crazy things and no one is questioning it. They're speculating. The sister speculates that I forget any of the characters' names. I will just say right now.
No, it's fine.
But the
Gabriel,
sister speculates.
That's the only character that matters.
Gabriel is the only one I remember too. But yeah, the sister speculates that they're with the police, and the sister speculates that the main female character, who again name I don't remember, has some sort of psychic bond with Gabriel, and no one bats an eye. The police, they sort of brush past it, but they don't make fun of her, which is a reasonable response to something like that. Oh yeah, sure, no, that I bet they totally have a psychic response, or a psychic bond. We'll get the psychic bond unit in to investigate that right away. No, so there is a level of accepting the insane, just casual acceptance. In this world already, which almost makes what the actual twist is again, I feel like no one bats an eye. It's fucked up, but no one is oh my, what? That's what this is? Are you serious? I fought with this guy, and that's what it was? I didn't notice that his limbs were backwards. What? No one, oh my god.
So we should just get the spoiler out of the way.
Yeah, we've danced around it a little bit.
Yeah. So the main character, whose name is actually Madison.
Okay, thank you.
But she has another name too, and it's Emily.
Right.
Because when she was born, she was given up to a crazy hospital somewhere.
Yeah.
A crazy gothic Batman-ready hospital.
On the Washington coast.
Yes. And her mother was a teenager and gave her up for adoption, but turns out that she has I don't remember the actual term for it, but a sort of parasitic twin. Growing out of the back of her head, and her neck and spinal column. And it's crazy looking, and it has arms.
Yeah.
And for some reason also has electronic powers.
Yeah. What? Never got into that. I had forgotten about it until this very moment. Because it is not important to the movie at all. Yeah, Gabriel can control electronics.
Yep. So Gabriel is getting more and more powerful, and he's basically sort of taking over Emily's body. And then the doctors decide that they're going to essentially kill Gabriel.
Right.
But they can't remove him without killing Emily. So they basically cut up his body and sort of push his face into the back of her brain.
Right, because they share a brain.
Yes.
So they can't take that part out.
And then seal it up. And then she grows up, hearing voices in her head from her dormant brain brother.
Right.
After she has been renamed. And then cut to the first major scene of the movie. She gets attacked by her fucking asshole of a husband.
Yeah.
And slams her head into a wall, which cracks open her head, which releases Gabriel.
Right.
Because that's how that works.
I mean... yeah. I will say that that you're absolutely right what you said. It does lay like everything quote unquote makes sense for the world of the movie. It all hangs together ish. Like the fact that the inciting incident is that opening scene where she hits her head, and like I appreciated it. It is as tightly plotted as a movie like this can be. It is a tightly plotted movie.
Sure, yeah.
Ish,
yeah. And so then we go through... So eventually it's revealed that Gabriel pops out from the back of her head.
Uh-huh.
And goes on killing sprees, getting revenge on everyone who hid him away, flailing around like a backward limb man.
Yeah. Taking control of Madison's body,
yes,
while she sleeps, and also making her think, like almost keeping her in like a weird psychic cage, so that she thinks that she's just sleeping or at home or whatever while he's doing this stuff. And
but occasionally I feel like she wakes up.
Yeah.
And witnesses these murders like via the psychic bond.
Right.
That it turns out is not psychic at all because she's there the entire time.
Yeah. It's not so much a bond as they share a brain.
Yes. Yeah.
I found the revenge against the doctors who wronged me thing reminded me of V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. It's probably pretty common trope in horror movies, I would expect.
Yeah. I mean, just revenge in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there are cops on the trail of this killer who's going around killing all these, fairly well-known doctors, and They keep suspecting Madison, and they eventually find out that she knew them as a child, and then separately, her sister goes on her own investigative journey to discover the whole conjoined twin thing.
Yeah.
Which, when they show it for the first time, it's creepy.
It's startling.
Yeah. But it's, does not make anything else make any more sense.
and it looks ridiculous. Like it looks like a practical effect, which is cool when you think about it, but also is nonsense. Like it's just these little like spider arms and weird shrunken head sticking out of the back of a child.
Yeah.
Like it's terrifying in a what the fuck am I looking at way.
Yeah. And to the point where, like, even grown-up Gabriel, who lives out of the back of Madison's skull, I feel like that's probably also practical effects.
Yeah.
But they also don't really show it that clearly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they show there's the one scene in the jail of Gabriel's face pushing out of the back of Madison's skull.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's pretty well hidden.
Yeah. I will say from the jail scene on, though, and it again, the movie remains completely fucking insane. But I did, like, just viscerally, truly enjoy, like, from that point on throughout the end of the movie. Like, it is just a wild fucking ride at that point.
Yeah, I actually, like I said, I've had a lot of time to think about it. And I think I've landed on this movie was awesome. Like I had a great time watching it. It is complete nonsense, but it's super entertaining. It's very well made.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some of the writing and some of the acting is not great, but
I will say
it's.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's. I mean, if you come at it as like it's a B horror movie, basically, then it's perfectly good. Perfectly good.
Yeah, like I said, I found new appreciation for it on the second view, to the point where I do think, like, reevaluating it, I enjoyed this movie. The weakest part, I think, is the acting.
Yeah.
I mean, there is one actor in this movie that I recognized. And it's none of the main ones.
Right. Was it Gabriel?
Yeah, he had a stint on The Simpsons for a while. Don't know why I chose an animated series. I am fucking stupid.
He's primarily a voice actor. He's got a face for animation. I think Matt Groening said that in an interview once.
The hypnotherapist that helps Madison sort of reveal her hidden past is played by Paula Marshall, who she's just kind of one of those actresses that popped around in the 90s, never really had a thing. But she was, I believe, the original Iris West and the Flash TV show.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I did not recognize her. Yeah, she was in the pilot. I think that was the only episode that she was in.
I think she may have appeared in the second episode as well to, like, break up with Barry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know her primarily from Sports Night, actually. She was in an arc in the second season of Sports Night.
Okay. But yeah, she is the only person that I recognized in this movie, and I generally found almost all the other actors to be pretty wooden.
Yeah.
No, I just remember there's another actor in there that I recognize. The one of the doctors that Gabriel kills was in Briscoe County Jr.
Oh, nice. Brought some Sam Raimi cred to the movie.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie is just fucking out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's got some problems.
Yeah. But I'm gonna give it the credit that, it's definitely kind of one of a kind.
Yeah.
All horror movies to a point, follow some sort of, tropes and everything, but this has got kind of an original starting point.
Yeah.
And I will absolutely give it the credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was a stirring examination of the cancer experience. So,
sure. Yeah.
That's
why you picked it.
That is why I picked it. I look forward to seeing it rake in Academy Awards next year.
Sure.
For its depiction.
Well, yeah, it is a very prestige film, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I turned it on and I was just like, ugh, Oscar bait.
Oh, have you seen any of the Harry Potter movies?
I have not.
Okay. So, this will mean nothing to you, but in the first one there is a character named Professor Quirrell who, spoiler alert, at the end of the movie it's revealed that he has Lord Voldemort growing out of the back of his head. Okay. And that was all I could think of while I was watching the back half of this movie. Is poor Professor Quirrell.
See, I kept thinking this was a reverse Quato.
Okay. All right.
From Total Recall.
Right, I'm
just assuming you've seen Total Recall.
I have seen Total Recall. I was I almost mentioned that as one of Gerald's or Gabriel's previous roles.
Which would have been a much better thing than whatever I said. That I'm now trying to force out of my head as ever having said it.
You said The Simpsons. Don't worry, I remember.
Fuck.
I'm glad that we watched this absolutely insane movie.
Me too. I really wanted to hear your opinion about it. And I did genuinely want to give this a second shot because when I walked away from it the first time, I was just like, really?
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did. I'm glad you picked it. I'm glad I let you pick it.
I am too. I remembered. I did want to mention, I feel like, the ending of the movie. It almost feels like this is Madison's superhero origin story.
Kind of.
Did you get that feeling as well?
Yes. Yeah. Because she now. She now has the abilities that Gabriel had, but forward, I guess.
Right. That'll actually be her superhero name. Her code name is Forward. Forward Woman.
Well, this movie was directed by the director of a major superhero franchise, so, he could be striking out on his own now,
It just, yeah, like the ending, it just felt very like we're setting up a franchise for this. Malignant will return.
I mean, they very clearly leave this open for a sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, it is almost shameless and how they do that. But you're not wrong. It like at times, especially like the way Gabriel looked, it felt Darkmanish.
Sure.
And yeah, so it's got a comic book kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie is directed by James Wan, written and directed by James Wan, who is the director of the Aquaman movies. Which have you still not seen?
Still have not seen.
All right.
I have seen at least one of the Conjuring movies, though.
Okay, which one?
The first one.
Okay, that's
I don't remember. I don't remember if I ever watched the second one.
Second one is very good. Third one is not directed by James Wan, and you can give it a miss.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read the prequel comic to it, and it was not very good.
Okay. James Wan also directed the first Saw movie, which I pretty much loathe.
Okay.
But then he also directed Dead Silence, which is almost as batshit as this movie.
Okay.
And thinking back on it now, like literally right now, I'm just like, oh yeah, there is a clear line. But I did enjoy Dead Silence a lot.
All right.
There are, common themes. Okay.
Is that one the woman has a twin growing out of her ear, and so she can't hear out of it?
No, she has super hearing.
Oh, okay.
Because she can hear her twice as well.
Wow. Oh man. Anything bringing you joy this week? I think I'm tapped out on Malignant.
That's fair. My girlfriend.
Aww,
Yeah, I have a girlfriend now.
that's nice.
She's pretty awesome. So
Yeah,
that's it. That's where I'm leaving it.
that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you. What about you, sir?
We watched all of Midnight Mass over the weekend.
Ooh, okay. I kind of want to talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, I overall really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. I found the first two episodes to be pretty fucking sluggish.
Yeah, they were kind of slow.
But then
A lot of
episode
table
3,
setting.
Hmm?
It was a lot of table setting.
Yeah. But by episode 3, episode 3 exactly, took a turn.
Yeah.
And I was on board.
Yeah, episode 3 is where you find out what the series is actually about.
Yes.
So, yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah. No, I think, if the first 2 episodes had just been combined to one, I think it would have worked much better.
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, everything from that point on is pretty spectacular. And I think the, not the final episode, but the next to the last one, was one of the most intense hours of horror that I have ever watched.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. And I don't know, I guess just because, it was a Mike Flanagan thing, I think he's pretty much just mostly done ghost stuff up to this point, other than Gerald's Game.
Right.
That I guess I was just expecting another ghost thing. and was pleasantly surprised when it turned out not to be.
Yeah, it was. I didn't know what to expect from it.
Yeah.
At all. I haven't watched either of the Haunting series.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only things I've seen, obviously Gerald's Game, and I think Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything else by Mike Flanagan. But yeah, like just it's an interesting take on lore that is familiar but is presented in a way that feels wholly original.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, I thought.
It was too. And man, Hamish Linklater.
He's so good.
He really is. I've always enjoyed that guy. Even when he was like the stoner brother on the New Adventures of Old Christine.
That's awesome.
Where I also first saw Clark Gregg as an actor.
I first saw him on Sports Night as well.
Yeah. So I was, weirdly enough, I was listening to the Blank Check podcast today, and they were talking about the movie What Lies Beneath.
Oh, yeah.
Which Clark Gregg is the credited screenwriter.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was his first project that he had done. I guess he had written some spec scripts and got on people's radars while also trying to be an actor. And he was initially supposed to be in the main cast of Sports Night.
Really?
Yes. But Robert Zemeckis told him that he needed to be on set every single day for What Lies Beneath as the writer, just in case they needed to do rewrites.
Oh.
And so he had to step away from Sports Night.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, man, that would have been awesome. I'm trying to think of who he would have played.
I think he was going to be one of the two main guys, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. We would have been denied Peter Krause.
I guess, yeah.
I can't see him as the Josh Charles character, but I could see him as Casey McCall.
I have never seen a Sports Night, so
I think you would hate it. So that's probably for the best.
I'll take your word for it.
But yeah, Midnight Mass makes me want to go back and check out the two Haunting shows and his other original projects as well. It seems like, because I was sort of iffy on Gerald's Game,
mm-hmm.
and I don't think I really cared for Dr. Sleep, but I don't know, this maybe I'm just more of a created by Mike Flanagan guy than a everything he does guy.
Yeah, I like Dr. Sleep a lot. I would say the Haunting of Hill House was probably one of the best family dramas that I have ever watched.
Okay.
But it's not a very good horror TV show.
Okay.
And then The Haunting of Bly Manor was just not good.
Gotcha. All right, good to know.
Yeah, your mileage may vary, of course.
Yeah. It was also just nice to see Rahul Kohli again. I really like him.
He is in the Bly Manor series. So, if that sells you on that or not. You're the one that says you love the guy. I'm just
he's my favorite actor, okay? I celebrate the guy's entire filmography.
I figured you did.
Do you want to pick a movie for next week?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the problem.
That was a long pause.
I haven't thought of one.
Oh, no.
So, vamp.
Let's see. I was thinking on the subject of Raul Coley, I was thinking, well, Jenny and I were talking about maybe rewatching iZombie, and I was looking, and it doesn't look like all of the seasons are on DVD. Like, I think it's streaming somewhere. It's probably on Netflix.
I think I watched them all on Netflix.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But I have been into getting physical media for when the grid eventually goes down.
Well, sure.
But I was disappointed to see it looks like only the first 3 seasons of iZombie are on DVD, which I thought was kind of weird.
I've run into a few things because I do also enjoy the physical media,
right?
Because again, things just get taken off sometimes, and then you're just fucked.
Yeah.
Plus, it's just nice to have things.
Yeah, I like tactile experiences.
But there's I think Legion. Speaking of Hamish Linklater.
Yeah.
I mean, we're dorks. We have a slight bit of OCD going on.
What?
And, so if there's something that comes out on Blu-ray, then, that's going to be my preferred, method of purchasing future sets.
Sure.
Only the first season of Legion is available on Blu-ray.
Oh, that's frustrating.
The second season is only available on DVD, and I don't think that they put out a third season on DVD. Yep.
That's infuriating.
Super infuriating. Oh, boy.
How's it going over there?
Not great.
Do you need me to pick? We're gonna do a rare 2 for 2 in a row.
Okay, so I usually way better prepared. I am sorry that I don't keep a list, sir.
Listen, we talked about OCD.
It's true.
If I did not have a list, this would be me every week, honestly. Or every other week, I guess.
So I have picked a movie, though. Finally. It's one that I'm like 99% sure you have seen, and shockingly, I have never seen.
Okay.
I would like to pick the original Blade Runner.
Oh, awesome. Make that 100%, sir.
Yeah.
So which cut of this are we going to watch?
Oh, fuck. Are you going to make me do this now?
No, it's fine. We can figure that out off air.
Okay. Because I know it's streaming in multiple places.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's, individual versions of it or not.
I think as long as we pick the same platform, we should be okay.
Okay.
So if we both stream at the same place, we'll get the same experience.
Well, that's good then. I think Netflix has the final cut.
Okay.
But I don't know if Hulu has a different version or HBO or whatever. Who knows?
Gotcha.
We'll figure that out, I guess.
That works.
Actually,
awesome.
No. So the final cut is currently available on both Netflix and HBO Max. So
okay.
It's going to be the final cut.
Awesome. All right, that works.
Which means nothing to me personally. But I guess we'll find out more next week then.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be a fun discussion.
All right. I apologize that took so long, but
I got nothing else going on. You're good.
Yeah, all right. Well then, sir, I bid you farewell.
Adieu to you, sir.
Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.